Are you creating chances on FIFA 22 and want to know how to put a ball in the back of the net? Today's video, we're going to tell you every single finishing technique that you can use that can help you score more goals and in turn win more games. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we do go in and show you all the different types of finishes and where to use them inside of the box, there's a few general things that we do need to talk about. There's multiple different finishing techniques on FIFA 22. A shot across goal, a finesse shot, a chip shot, a header, a volley, a flare shot, green time finishing. There's absolutely loads, including the low driven. We're going to discuss and show you them in just a second. But for some general rules, please do remember these. Number one, you don't want to be sprinting when taking a shot if you can help it. If your player is dribbling, you're not holding the sprint button, they've got the ball close to their feet, they have a much higher chance of getting the shot on target, it being accurate, and not missing the goal. In comparison to real life, where you do take a shot in your stride when you are sprinting, it's very different on FIFA. It doesn't really play out the same. So just make sure you're not on that sprint button as often as you can when you are taking a shot. The angle needs to be right as point number two. What do I mean by this? Well, you need to be facing a goal. If you're taking a shot while facing your own goal, you're going to struggle to turn and hit that ball. Make sure you're using dribbling to readjust, get the angle right, and then take that shot. It does depend on the shot that you're taking. If you're taking a power shot, you're going to be pretty central towards the goal. If you're taking a finesse shot, you may have a bit of an angle where maybe you're facing more towards the corner flag. Just make sure as a general rule, though, that the angle and the body position is towards that goal to give you that best possible chance in getting that finish. Point number three, power. The further out you are, the more power you are going to need. I think that goes without saying. Make sure you're getting the right sort of power. That comes with playing more, getting understanding more of the game. You know, if you're close and you're inside the box, 2 to 2.5 bars of power. Outside the box, you might be looking for 3. I don't necessarily look at the power bar to indicate how much power I'm going to put on. I normally tend to go with feel, really, when it comes to that side of things. Timed finishing is key as point number 4. If you can learn how to timed finish, please do. It will help you absolutely massively. It makes shooting a lot more reliable, gives you more power, gives you more accuracy. It will help you in the long run. Point number 5, shooting on your weak foot. If you can avoid the shot on the weak foot, and if you can get a shot on your strong foot by shimmying the ball back over, using a skill move, make sure we're looking to exploit and use that. We don't want to be taking shots on a weak foot if it's a 3-star or a 4-star weak foot, if you can help it. There are times where you are just going to have to shoot on that weak foot. If it's a 5-star weak foot, it's not going to be as good as a shot on your strong foot, but it's still going to be a very, very solid shot for sure. And then the last point, don't shoot when you're in front of defender. It's going to get blocked. You can moan about FIFA 22 and AI blocks all you want. Yes, they're there. We know they're there. We know that. We need to beat the defender. We need to ensure that we're taking a shot that has a very high percentage of hitting the target and testing the goalkeeper. Now we've gone all over that and we've spoken about that. Let's go show you actually how to finish and what techniques we're going to use when we are trying to put that ball in the back of the net. So the first shot type that we're going to talk to you about and showcase how you can use it is shooting across the face of goal. What do I mean by this? This is where you're going to be striking the ball across your player's body. So if you're on the top side of the pitch, you're going to be hitting the ball bottom side of the pitch. So if you're on the right-hand side, you're going to hit it across that left-hand side. These shots can be really, really effective on the edge and just inside the box. They can also work very well in one-on-ones, which we'll discuss with you very shortly in the one-on-one scenario. They work really, really well. What's going to help you obviously have more chance of these getting in is the timed finishing, which again, we'll talk to you about in just a second. But time finishing will certainly help for you when you are trying to execute these. It all depends on the type of power that we're wanting to have for this. But ideally, put it on that strong foot, go for that 2 to 3 bars of power, aim to put it in the opposite corner of the side that you're on, and that will certainly give you a very good chance. You do want to make sure that you're not in front of a defender when you're taking this shot, because the ball's going to be traveling about mid-height. It's very easy for them to get a block in, so do ensure that you are reducing the chance of that AI defender getting that block in. This is going to be a very go-to finish in and around the box for you when you're on these particular angles. So do make sure that you are using them, and they're very effective. You can see the examples on the screen as well on how we're using them and when we're using them, and getting a lot of success with them. Shot selection number 2, which is the finesse shot. This is going to be the shot which you're probably going to use quite a lot outside the box at the minute, especially with the green time finishing. Finesse shots is where you hold the R1 button on PlayStation and RB on Xbox. This is going to be where you're opening up the body and you're proper trying to bend it into the top corner. The way I explain this for people to remember is think about David Beckham, proper whipping it and getting behind the ball. You're probably going to be facing towards the corner flag, maybe towards the actual sideline, and then you're proper going to get around and have that curve on that shot. As I said, with the green time finishing, this will work really well. It can be used inside the box as well. The closer you are to the keeper is probably where you're going to be using this, because it's going to go ahead and put this further away from him and then work its way back in. They're definitely not as good in the 18-yard box as what they have been in the past. They don't seem to have as much venom on them, let's say, and the keeper will get to a lot of these shots, which is where the power shot could have been a better option. But the finesse shot is certainly one of the most popular shots on FIFA 22, especially on the outside of the box. Quick tip for you as well: if a player has a finesse shot trait in their trait selection, they will have a much better chance of you scoring with these finesse shots. They put them more in the corner, they're more powerful, they're more accurate, so do keep that in mind. Just a quick interruption to this video. So if you are enjoying, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. We do stream over on twitch.tv/FIFA Analyst. A link in the description for that, 8 AM UK time every single day. Come and tune in. One-on-ones is something that a lot of people have struggled with this year, if I'm honest with you. You can use multiple techniques when you get one-on-one with the goalkeeper. You do need to keep in mind goalkeeper movement, first of all. So I always have 3 Ps, is what I class it as, when it comes to one-on-ones. You need to think about pace, you need to think about the player, and you need to think about the positioning. First of all, the positioning of the goalkeeper. Is the goalkeeper coming out? Is he moving the goalkeeper? Take a look at that at the earliest possible chance that you can get. It gives you the intel to know whether the chip shot is on, whether you're going to be able to take it past the goalkeeper, or whether you need to try and finish it in a one-on-one scenario. You then need to think about the player that you're using. Can you try and get it on their strong foot? Have they got a weak foot if you do need to take it on the weak foot? Do they have the finesse shot trait? Have they got the ability to power it into the top corner? And then the third P is going to be pace. How much time have you got? Have you got the defenders catching up with you? Can you sprint? If you take a touch over sprint, will the goalkeeper come and claim it? Have those 3 Ps in mind when you get one-on-one. Once you have decided what is the best option, one of the things that you can do is the power shot. As a goalkeeper gets close this year, it seems like they can't save one-on-ones with a power shot. They don't have an animation to do that. So you want to wait for the goalkeeper to be about 3 yards away from you, and the power shot will work really, really well. One of the most effective methods, though, in a one-on-one, which I find, is to take it around the goalkeeper. You can do a ball roll. You have to time and execute it right, though. So please do keep that in mind. Or you can just actually left stick dribble past them. A lot of people have been doing that this year and having a lot of success with it. So keep that in mind as well. If you're coming in at a one-on-one on an angle, you can actually go for a chip shot. The chip shots seem to work really well in those sort of areas. When you come in on like a 45-degree angle from the top or the bottom side of the pitch, you can have a chip shot on there should you wish to. Those ones are a little bit more difficult to get the power shot off, or a finesse shot, or even a ball roll. Because of the angle of the way that you're running in at, you may want to go for that chip shot. One-on-ones will be a way that will decide whether you win or lose that game. You will get them. You need to make sure that you're putting the ball in the back of the net. Now, to showcase some inside the box finishing for you, the low driven is going to be a very effective way for you to score inside the box this year. The low driven is where you use the L1 and the R1 button along with the shoot button, or on Xbox, LB and RB and the shoot button. This is where they power the shot and they keep it along the ground. It works really well against tall goalkeepers who don't have the saves with feet trait. So that's where you'll need to do some research to know whether the goalkeeper that you're up against has got the saves with feet trait or not. This has got a much higher chance of having no block from the AI, essentially, because it's along the ground. The AI are they're not going to go in and get that block. It's very difficult to do. So do keep that into account. It will work really, really well for you in different areas, inside the box on different angles. It's been one of my go-to finishes inside the box right now. You can actually time these as well, and it will give you a much higher chance of putting that ball in the back of the net. So do try and do that if you've got the ability to do it. And then, as previously discussed in our low-driven finishing tutorial, you can also finesse them. This is where you would go ahead and hold the L1 and the R1 button, and you can either tap the R1 button again, Or the other way that people do it is that you can hold R1 for a finesse shot, R1 and circle, and then tap the L1, and that might be a little bit easier for you. Thank you to people in the comment section of that video for telling me that you can do it that way, because it certainly does make it easier. But definitely low drivens inside the box will work really well, and then obviously our power shots that we've spoken about as well. Heading up next, and it's not something that I use too much in my playstyle, so it's quite difficult for me to show you too many clips here. But heading, essentially, the way I explain heading, because it's manual, you want to aim the left stick quite centrally towards the goal. If you really try and put the ball in the corner, you'll find that it's just going wide all the time because it is really sensitive. If you aim more centrally, you'll naturally have a bit of a drift one way or the other. So that will give you a much higher chance of putting the ball in the back of the net when you are heading it. Do make sure that you time the headers right, though. If you try and press shoot basically too early when the cross comes in, you're not going to have as much of a powerful header. But if you leave it too late, he's going to jump too late. So you want to wait when the ball's, a few millimeters away from you and then press that shoot button. They'll jump up and they'll give you the best chance of heading that ball. As I said, it's not a play style which I use too much. I'm not a massive crosser with the ball, but it certainly does help to use this year because they are actually very viable. So there you have it then. There is our FIFA 22 Ultimate Finishing Guide tutorial. I hope that has helped you out, guys. If you do have any questions, please do let me know. Pop them down below in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, it is greatly appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.